Hi everybody, this is Barbara Drazga, aka the Deal Diva with the Bundle Masterclass, and tonight we are going to learn how to mine wholesale lists to create bundles. So let me stop the share here. You can also go after the webinar to bundlemasterclass.com and see some more videos and articles on bundling. But for tonight, we're just going to focus on how we can take all those lists that we have from suppliers that look like there's no profit on them, and we're going to learn how to turn those into profit. And I'll stop the share so I can talk to you just for a second. Hey guys, so I just wanted to share with you tonight how when most sellers, when they see a supplier catalog and it says that there's a ton of sellers on it and there's no profit in a product, you know, there's 10% profit, those sellers go away, right? So they just say, man, there's no money to be made and Amazon's on everything, and they look at the negative and then they go away. Well, I have a more positive bent to my business in general, so I look for ways to take things that look like a negative and turn those into an opportunity. So I started looking at these lists, and instead of throwing them away, I look at these these supplier catalogs, and saying, okay, well, how can I look, instead of sorting by how much profit there is, why don't I sort by some other criteria? How about I just sort by which ones are selling the fastest? That's it. Which ones are selling a ton a month, and just ignore whether or not there's profit on them, and ignore how many sellers are on them, and ignore whether or not Amazon is on them, and let me see what I can do with that. So I'm going to show you tonight my process for doing just that, and how to turn these unprofitable supplier catalogs and find profit into them, how to turn them into profit through bundling. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Barbara Drazga, and I'm the creator of the bundlemasterclass.com, and it's about 10 modules, a bunch of different lessons, and a ton of bonuses on how to create bundles in a different way than most people teach. So I teach customer-centric research, so starting with the customer needs and meeting passions and solving problems instead of starting with a product. So I'm actually going to incorporate some of that into, we'll start with the supplier catalogs on this webinar, but I'm going to show you towards the end of the webinar how we switch it back to looking at a bundle possibility from a customer-centric approach. And that basically increases our chances of our bundles being successful. So let's say you've got a bunch of supplier catalogs. Let me turn over here. Let me just check the chat one time before I go in, and then I'm going to start a presentation. And I've got some, let's see, yes, yeah, okay. Nothing in the chat except for yes, you can hear me. Thank you. So I'm going to share my screen and go over to the presentation that I created for you this afternoon. And we're going to talk about mining wholesale lists to create bundles. So how do you get started? Well, first you want to apply for a wholesale account with supplier and with different suppliers. And if you don't know how to do that yet and you're just beginning, that's okay. You can go to, I've got a website with all things wholesale called dealdivawholesale.com. That's DEALDIVA wholesale.com. And I got that nickname while I was sourcing at auctions from another auction goer who was a little bit upset that I kept winning the bid and he couldn't figure out how. So he gave me that nickname and I kind of ran with it. So you can follow me on dealdivawholesale.com. I've got a ton of articles and videos up there for free on everything getting started with wholesale and having the competitive edge with wholesale if you've already started. And then you want to, after you apply for wholesale accounts with the supplier, you request their catalog in CSV or Excel format. Now, all that is a file format, which is the type of files that they have, and they might have PDFs, they might have other formats. So let's say they don't have an Excel or a CSV file. What do you do then, right? So no CSV file, no problem. Here's what you do. If they send you their supplier catalog in PDF format, so that's Adobe PDF, and you can open it up and see everything, but you can't do anything with that data. You can't sort it, you can't manipulate it. All you have to do is go on Google and search for convert PDF to CSV or convert PDF to Excel. Okay, and Excel is just a spreadsheet program from Microsoft. A lot of people, including myself, also use Google Sheets. And it's free, so just Google Sheets, just Google Sheets. And it's basically a spreadsheet program that doesn't cost you anything like Microsoft does. And you can open up Excel files and CSV files in Google Sheets, all right? And then what if they only have an online catalog? What if they say, well, we don't have anything you print out or a file that we can send you with our catalog because it changes all the time. Sometimes that's why. So they say, we'll give you a login to the website as a wholesaler, and then you can go and search our catalog online. Well, I want to be able to take these files, and here's why it's important to have their catalog in file format, because you want to match it against Amazon's catalog using a tool, and I'll tell you about a tool in the next slide. There's a bunch of different ones out there. So it's important that you have that file so you can manipulate that data and search for that data on Amazon. So let's say they have an online catalog only, and you log in and you want to what's called scrape that catalog off their website. So basically, you'll be using an automated tool that extracts the information from their online catalog, which is basically just a database, which, they should be able to export it to a CSV, but not all of them have the manpower to be able to, or the technical expertise to do that. So basically, you're doing that for them. And another reason why that's kind of a good thing is because a lot of sellers will just go away. If the supplier says, oh, we don't have a CSV file, then a lot of potential competitors just move on to the next supplier. So taking these little extra steps when you get a no for something this simple gives you the competitive edge for these particular suppliers. Does that make sense? Put yes in the chat if you're following me. Okay, so to scrape a website, there are programs out there, are scrapers out there, but it takes setting them up, and you have to have a certain amount of technical expertise to do it. All I do is go to fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, or upwork.com, and I hire someone for, it could be anywhere from $5 to $30 to just, these are technical guys who already have these scraping tools and know how to use them. And you give them a login to that website, to the wholesale supplier login, and they'll go in and they'll scrape that data and they'll send it to you in CSV file, okay? So it's not that hard to do. It just takes that little bit extra. I can't remember who originally coined this term, this phrase, but I love it and I use it and I can't take credit for it, but I forget who did it. And they said the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. So as a seller, I try to be extraordinary, which means anytime I hit a wall or a no or you can't do that, I try to go that little, I go that little extra to find a way to get it done, because that puts me in the minority of the other sellers who are just stopping at ordinary. And I challenge you and invite you to look at your business the same way so that you can have the competitive edge over other sellers too. Okay, so what do you do when you have this file? Now you've got this CSV file or Excel file. You have a spreadsheet file, okay, in whatever format. So there are a bunch of different services out there. Here's some of the ones that I've used or have heard of. And what you want to do is take that file and upload it to one of these services. And that service will match those listings, right? Match those UPC codes in that supplier catalog against Amazon's catalog, in order to find the listings for those products on Amazon. And then it will extract Amazon's data and put it in a spreadsheet for you so you can calculate, you can see what the rank is. Now, normally you'd want to calculate what is the profit on that product. But we're going to assume that a lot of these products, most of them, won't have profit in it for you selling them individually, and that's okay. In fact, we like that, okay? So you're not looking at the file that's being run. You're not looking at the data, the extracted data, as to whether or not you can make money on an individual product. You're looking for other data. So what you want to do is upload these to, I use indbl.com, and that's a pay-as-you-go service. So you're charged, you buy credits, and then your credits are used depending on how long your spreadsheet is. Tactical Arbitrage now has a wholesale only module. I'm not sure how much it costs. It is a monthly fee. So if you're doing this regularly, you would want to use the monthly services, probably a Tactical Arbitrage or Price Checker too. INDBL is great for pay as you go. So if you just want to try it out and you're getting your feet wet and you're just getting started, you can do a pay as you go with the first service, and then as you start having more and more catalogs to run against Amazon's catalog, you might want to go for a monthly service. So just do the numbers and see which one's going to work best for you. So I'm going to take a break here and see how everybody's doing in the chat. You guys all follow me? I know I go pretty fast when I do these webinars, so put in the chat, yes, we follow you, we gotcha. All right, I'm going to open up the chat here and see how you guys are doing. And again, you know what? You can go to bundlemasterclass.com and also to dealdivawholesale.com, and I've got a bunch of free content on those sites. about wholesale sourcing. Yep, already do this with another software. Anthony, what software do you use? Go ahead and put that in the chat, and I will say that live on the video, because I know there are a lot of services out there and I don't know them all. Anthony says, can you recommend one of them from Fiverr or Upwork? No, just put a post up there. There are a lot of guys who do it. So Profit Hunter, I never heard of that. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony said Profit Hunter is another one of those services. I'll write that down. And let's see, Profit Hunter. Okay. And there are a lot of services like that out there. So that's awesome that you're sharing. And just go ahead and keep sharing if you know of another service in the chat. Okay, so let me go back to the presentation. So after you're done running the file, what do? You evaluate the data. Now, how do you guys normally evaluate data after you have run one of these catalogs against the Amazon's catalog? What you normally do is you'll set your criteria for that Amazon is not on the listing, that it has X amount of profit or it sells for a certain dollar amount, right? And that there's less than, I don't know, 30 sellers, for example, just for example. So normally you would set your criteria ahead of time in order to find products in these supplier catalogs that have a listing already up and that have profit on that listing. So what I suggest, when you find these catalogs where most of it is no profit, is you forget the filters and you just run their catalog to find their listings on Amazon, okay? You open the resulting file in Excel or in Google Sheets, and it does, in Google Sheets you can open, CSV, Excel, other formats, so don't worry that you don't have the right extension. Go into Google Sheets and hit File Open, and that usually opens things up, and I think Excel does too. And then you want to sort by rank. And does everybody know what rank is? Bestsellers rank, or BSR, is how fast a product sells, how many it sells a month and how fast it sells. So we're going to sort it by the lowest rank to the highest rank. We're going to ignore if Amazon is on the listing. We're going to ignore if there's no profit on that product. And we're going to ignore the number of sellers. Now, I know that's kind of counterintuitive to if you've been taught to just run files and look for a product that's got money in it. But what we're talking about tonight is how to mine for bundle ideas on those non-profitable individual items that sell like crazy hotcakes, right? So instead of just throwing away that file and moving on, we're gonna make bundles out of those or look for bundle opportunities. Does that make sense? Okay, so then you're gonna research the listings. After you've identified, you've sorted by rank and you've got lowest rank first, you're gonna visit the listing for bundle opportunities. So what do I mean by that? You're going to look at people who bought this also bought. So right below the listing, it'll say people who bought this item also bought, and then list 2 more items. And you just start digging around to see related items, maybe not exact items, but get ideas for related items. And then you're going to look down further down the listing for related products, okay? And a lot of times those are sponsored ads or products that are coming up with the same keywords on the listings, but they're a little bit different than the listing you're on. You'll look at the reviews and sort through to see what the reviews are saying. Boy, I love this product, but I wish it had XYZ. And that XYZ is a potential to add to that product to create a bundle. And then you're going to look for the product questions, because a lot of people ask questions about that product, and the answers can give you new keywords and give you bundling ideas. So again, I know I'm going fast, so go ahead and put your questions in the chat, and I'll come around to that in a minute. So then you want to generate bundle ideas. And by the way, we're going to do a live, we're going to go on Amazon and I'm going to show you this live tonight, okay? So hang in there. So after you generate bundle ideas, all right, you just get some basic ideas. You don't have to flesh it out. You ask yourself the 3 Qs. Now this is where I talk about customer-centric research. So we use these catalog products to find ideas, but then we go back to understanding our customer. Right, and this is how I teach bundling, is to understand your customer really well. So when you put together a bundle, you increase your chances of it selling organically. Okay, so you want to ask yourself what I call the 3 Qs, and that means question. Who buys this product? Why do they buy it? Which will help you understand what problem they're trying to solve by buying that product. And then what else do they buy? So write this down, the 3 Qs. Who buys this product? Why do they buy it? What problem is it solving? And what else do they buy? And then you just start generating ideas. And it could be that there's more than one buyer, one type of buyer for a product. They buy it for different reasons, which is why it's important to ask number 2, why do they buy it? Because it could be a completely different, have like 3 or 4 different uses for that product, which are completely different markets. And each one of those ideas is a potential separate bundle idea. And then what else do they buy? Of course, those are your bundle pieces. So let me go over to the chat. We're gonna do some live bundle brainstorming tonight. I never know where the live brainstorming is going to go. I might do a little prior research as a starting point, but then I just sort of go off and do some bundle brainstorming, and we never know what's gonna happen. So it's gonna be fun. Make sure that you jot down ideas, because once I say the ideas that are coming out during a live brainstorming session, sometimes I forget to write them down and they're gone. So this is a potential gold for you guys in the live brainstorming. So I'm gonna go over to the chat and make sure I've got all my questions answered here. So go ahead and ask a couple questions in the chat so I can make sure that I'm covering them as I go along. Okay, so what questions do you have? Put them in the chat. Here we go. So if I profit, no Amazon, then I check each one to see the keep it, to see how stable the pricing is. That's right, Anthony, awesome. You mean do not worry about Amazon or sellers or no profit. We should look at them. Or don't. Geraldine, I know it sounds a little bit counterintuitive. Don't look at how many sellers are on it. Don't look at whether or not the product has a profit, and don't care whether or not Amazon is on it. That's what I'm telling you to do. All the stuff you're supposed to look at before, you're not gonna look at anymore. You're just gonna look at one thing. You're gonna look at rank, all right? When you run those files, you're just gonna sort them lowest rank to highest rank. Because what we're looking is for bundle ideas, okay? With products that have already been tested, already selling consistently on Amazon. And that's one of the things we'll do when we look at the listing, is to take a look at the keep it chart to make sure it's consistent sales, right? Okay, how do you do images for bundles? So Alan, that is outside of the scope of this webinar, but you can go to bundlemasterclass.com and get some more information. Okay, so you want, well, Donna asked, why not list from high to low? Because Donna, the lower the number of rank BSR, the faster the product is selling. So if you have a product that has a rank of 300 and then another product rank of 3,000, the one that's selling fastest, the most, is the rank with 300. Okay, so let me see what else we have here. So okay, it looks like those are the questions for now. Could I go into more detail about going from wholesale CSV to running that CSV in INDBL? No, Patty, is pretty straightforward. Just go to indbl.com and they have quick and dirty instructions on how to format the file and upload it. I'm not going to give instructions on how to use any specific software tool. What I'm doing tonight is explaining to you how you can find and generate bundle ideas. And that's more valuable than me teaching a specific tool, because you can go do that yourself. That's easy peasy. Okay, so let's do some live bundle brainstorming. Everybody ready? So get your pens, pencils, and pens out. And if you're not online, you can get online and follow along. But let's just start digging in. So here's what I decided to do, because I was hungry. So I wanted some popcorn. I thought it would be kind of rude to eat popcorn on the webinar, and I'm also looking for cool appliances for my new kitchen in my new house. So I started looking, digging online. I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to have a popcorn machine, and that's how I started this. So this listing is a Presto Orville Redenbacher's hot air popper, which may even be restricted. I don't know. We'd have to check on that. But look at the rank, and I know somebody's going to ask me the name of this tool here. So this tool here is RevSeller, RevSeller, RevSeller. I really like it. I think it's like $100 a year. It's a great tool. It's never gone down. It's always worked for me. I've been using it for 3.5 years now. I love this Chrome extension, RevSeller. So anyway, that tells me as a snapshot right on the screen, 335 rank in kitchen and dining. Do you think people are buying this? Yeah. So let's just see if that is consistent or if it's a seasonal item. And I've got the keeper chart that comes up right here, right? So that looks fairly consistent. I don't really care if the price is consistent, right? But what I want to see is that the rank is consistent. And this green line here at the bottom, see that rank, 100, 200, 300, popped up here to 400, right back down. So up here, the rank is still at the highest point. It was still a rank of 579, which is crazy. So would you guys agree that this rank is fairly consistent? And by rank, I mean how fast it sells, how much volume it sells. I would say yes. So then I'm going to come down. Remember my instructions were to come down to frequently bought together. Now, in the back of our minds, we want to think about the 3 Qs. And remember my 3 Qs were, let me come back up here. Who buys this product? Start thinking about who buys this product. And it's not necessarily, movie night would be like people having movie night would be the first one. But what if it's people who eat organic and clean and no oil, right? So healthy eaters, organic eaters. What about football parties, sports parties? A whole different bundle could be for people who are looking for sports snacks or healthy sports snacks, right? Why do they buy it? What problem does it solve? And what else do they buy? Okay, so to get those ideas, we'll come back over here. Can you guys all see my screen? Say yes, so I make sure you can see the screen. So we've got, they're buying this, and then they're also buying a huge thing of popcorn, but it looks like these might be flavorings, which is kind of cool. So let me open that up and see what that is. And then we want to look at related products, which are down here, sponsored products related to this. Here's a big giant one, little ones. Ooh, how about that? You see this, it didn't say people also bought. You see this popcorn holder here? That's a great bundle item. Right, there's some flavorings, there's bags of popcorn, is this organic popcorn? That's a great niche right there, right? So then we can scroll over, see I'm just clicking this little button here to get some other ideas. Look at this, this white tub, right? Here's some seasoning, different seasonings, right? So are you guys already thinking of some bundle ideas just by looking at this? Here's an oil sprayer, right? This is this is popcorn salt. Are you guys, oh, here's a bundle. Isn't that interesting? Looks like it's a pack of 4, not a bundle, I'm sorry. These guys here, the popcorn containers. So you should already in your heads, look at the shaker, be identifying some bundle ideas, right? So go ahead and put them in the chat, all right? So let's do some live brainstorming. Look at this stainless steel bundle thingy. What else? These are bags, so smaller bags. So you could do like a slumber party for girls popcorn bundle and make it, you could be like popcorn unicorn or unicorn snacks bundle with, you could have bags printed that have popcorn with a unicorn logo on it, right? That's just off the top of my head, or a unicorn image on it, just as an example. Okay, then we're gonna come down to questions. Nobody's asked any questions, but I like to compare with similar items because that gives me an idea. So this one looks like it's air popped. This might be oil popped. I don't know, but we can do some research on each of these. And basically all we're doing is looking for ideas to create a bundle for this target market. You can even watch some of these reviews, these customer reviews in videos, and then come down here and look for reviews. Can I roast coffee beans in it? Okay, that's kind of cool, right? Yes, I have Presto Pop Light and completed hundreds of roasts in it. Who'd have thunk? Okay, that's pretty cool. So there's a cool bundle right there, guys. A popcorn maker, but if you can find like an unbranded one and have them put a sticker on it and make it into a coffee bean roaster, that would be super cool and probably not a hard private label product to create either, right? And then you bundle it with a bunch of other stuff related to roasting coffee beans. Okay, I had no idea. Did you guys know that? You could roast coffee beans in a popcorn maker. Okay, that's pretty cool. And even instructions, look at this. So you'd put in like an instruction, find an unbranded popcorn, air popcorn or whatever, popcorn air popper, and market it as a coffee roaster. Is just a super cool bundle idea. Somebody run with that. So this one's what the minimum quantity of unpopped corn to use. So in your bundle, you could create a measuring cup and put it 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, right? Let's see, what's the warranty? So you could even put this guy's putting instructions. I hold the popper in my hands and gently shake it up or down. So if you were to do a coffee roasting or any kind of bundle related to this popper, make sure you have an instruction sheet in it, and you can put your own logo on top of the instruction sheet to lock it down. Okay, so pretty cool. And then what I would do is I love this one. I survived the Presto Pop Light hot air popper. So doesn't that sound like that would be a really fun review? Like he's gonna say some sort of crazy story about something that happened, but then he had a negative happen to them. Like it says, if you add popcorn over the fill line, you will be sorry. So that's part of your instruction, right? So when you create an instruction for how to use a popcorn or a coffee roaster, so much fun, right? Look at all this. This is great, great, great data in here, okay? So you would just go through this listing, read through a lot of this data, and find ways to improve this product with bundle items, with other bundle items. So I'm going to go over here to the chat and see what's going on there. What ideas have you guys been generating in the chat? I'll read them out a little bit so we can share it with people who are only seeing the video. And if you can't see the chat, go ahead and put your bundle ideas in the chat. I'm coming over here to see how you guys are doing. Okay. All right. What do we got? There we go. So popcorn makers are also now roasting coffee beans. Do you avoid products sold by Amazon? Nope. Gary, so check the presentation from the beginning. I said, I don't care if Amazon's on it. I don't care if other sellers are on it. There's only one piece of information that's important to me. What is it? Somebody put it in the chat. So Julia says you could probably roast nuts as well in a popcorn popper. Holy cow, who'd have thunk, right? Hey, what do they roast? Chestnuts, right, at Christmas time? So couldn't you do like, or make sure you're doing keywords with chestnut, actually do like a nut bundle of all different kinds of nuts that need to be roasted, and then say works perfectly with air popcorn makers, right? So your bundle is just basically a bunch of nuts that need to be roasted. So let me see what else. Can you find locally or ordering from AliExpress? So Sue's, Google is your friend. Anytime I'm trying to look for a private label or white label product, I start with Google. So rank, that's right, rank, Kristen, is the only thing I look for. I want to find products that I know have a lot of people looking for it and buying it. Okay, so we're looking at how fast it sells and how many it sells. All right, would you try to get Presto permission to bundle? Absolutely, Presto might be a brand that's locked down, but that's all done before you ever get their catalog. They're going to tell you whether or not they want Amazon sellers. Popcorn and hot sauce dribbled on top. Love them. Very cool. So Kate, what kind of bundle could you do with people who love popcorn and or hot sauce, or snacks and hot sauce? So Julia says, make college kids bundle with popcorn, seasonings, and tubs. Right, and they're going to be sharing with their friends, you know, like 6 tubs and a lot of popcorn, like massive amounts of popcorn. So Ethel says, hi, so much. Where will I find the reply? I'm not really sure what you're asking, Ethel. Sleepover party bundle, there you go. And niche that down even more. You could do a sleepover party bundle with boys, with all like boy-related snacks, or a spicy hot party bundle, right, with only spicy hot stuff. So a bundle with a lot of party napkins. So if you guys are registered for this, I've got your email. I'm going to send out a replay of this. It'll take me a couple of days, but I'll email it out to you. A bundle with a lot of party napkins, right? But think about it, Kate. Couldn't you not just party napkins, but I bet you could go to a promotion company and order party napkins with a design that you put on it. So you have someone create a design with like your little brand name on it, saying hot sauce popcorn party, right? With a cute little, maybe an ear of corn half popped with fire coming out of his ears, just as an example, right? And you have somebody draw that for you and put it on the napkin, because then you are locking down, you're customizing that bundle so that it's with your images, right? Bundle with a Snuggie, I love it. Couple date night bundle, how cute is that, right? Well, you know what other stuff we could put in that couple date night bundle? Not just popcorn. So you could have chocolates, you know, anything related to lovey, snuggly, hugging, right? Great tip finding content on the reviews. You're welcome, Renee. Thank you for the okay. Okay, at ASD, they had a hot sauce company that can do custom labels on their hot sauce. Boom. Now let's see you didn't go to ASD. How do you find, put it in the chat, how do you find a company that creates hot sauce that will white label? This is a trick question. How can you find that? Remember, Google is your friend. So Google, somebody put it in the chat, hot sauce, wholesale, white label, right? And see what companies come up. Customized season shakers, seasonings, popper. And what if you created a label of, you know, Barbara's popcorn, gourmet popcorn, right? And you had a label created and you had a logo created. and you put it on the shaker, and you put it on the bottles, and you put it on anything that you're putting into that bundle, right? So we call that white labeling. So Sue says, as a non-US based seller, can you make bundles using third-party preppers and still be profitable? So there's a lot of different sub-questions in there. Sue's welcome to Amazon.com US, congratulations. And Sue says, can you make bundles? Absolutely. Can you use third-party preppers? Absolutely. Can you still be profitable? Absolutely. It doesn't matter where you're located. Make sure when you're creating your bundles, regardless of where you're located or where you're selling on, make sure you know your numbers ahead of time. And in the Bundle Masterclass, I give you a spreadsheet that you can find out your numbers before you ever put anything on Amazon. So go to bundlemasterclass.com and you can get some more information about that. So what we can do is you just start digging around. Oh, you can tell I've got a new home, right? Because these are related items to my view. I'm viewing furniture, and I bought myself an Instapot and the shelves, right? So you can see what I was buying before. It's kind of cool what I was searching for. But you can just start digging around on Amazon after you've run that CSV file and you start looking at the products online. Just start generating. Oh, and here's the other thing you want to do. Let me go to the presentation, okay? So let's remind what the 3 Qs are. Who buys this product? Why do they buy it? And so look for different sub-niche markets. And what else do they buy, right? So let's say you've got somebody, just to go with the popcorn idea again. So how about people who have tailgate parties and who have sports parties, who just love sports, right? So couldn't you do a version of just for football lovers, popcorn football lovers bundle, right? And just do things for a football party. Okay, so we did a little bit of live brainstorming. Let's recap. So you want to look for fast-selling products with little profit. I know it sounds backwards, but instead of throwing away those catalogs from the suppliers, from your wholesale suppliers, because they don't have any profit on it, and then posting on Facebook, complaining about there's no profit anywhere, let those people complain, you get to work. So you take those same catalogs and you look for those products on Amazon, you look for the related products from the same supplier, because then you can go to that supplier and say, look, I see you have a popcorn maker and you have a popcorn shaker and you have popcorn tubs and you sell those individually. I would like to put all 3 of those together, please, Mr. Supplier, and sell it as a bundle on Amazon. And by the way, if all of those products came from the same supplier with no other products on it, then that supplier has to provide you with a UPC code for that bundle, okay? But you can't put anything else in it. And then you ask them for an exclusive for that bundle of their products, okay? And then what you can do is, because you're buying 3 of their products and maybe 2 of them don't sell very well, maybe that popcorn maker sells really crazy well, but the other 2 products don't. You say, look, we want to create a bundle to help you sell more of those products. We'd like to be the only seller allowed to sell that UPC. And you get to go negotiate a lower price on all 3 products because now you're buying more volume. Does that make sense? So there's always all kinds of ways to think about a dead supplier catalog more creatively than most other sellers are. And that's the whole concept of this webinar of mining wholesale catalogs for bundle ideas. That's the whole concept behind this, is to teach you to think outside the box, to be creative, and don't just stop when things look a little bit hard. Wholesale sourcing can be hard sometimes, and it's a numbers game. But if you think a little bit outside the box and you go that extra bit, you'll be more successful in your Amazon business than most other Amazon sellers, all the Amazon sellers who stop, the lazy ones. You're not going to be a lazy Amazon seller. I won't let you. So, and then afterwards, you just generate bundle ideas, just like we did on that popcorn popper. How many ideas did we generate in just a couple of minutes, right? We generated a ton of different niche markets. You can do that yourself. Okay, I'm going to go over in the Q&A real quick. Oh, we got all kinds of Q&A. How do you determine price of your bundle? Maria, that's not in the scope of this webinar, but you can go to bundlemasterclass.com, and I've got a bunch of videos and instructions up there. And do you avoid products sold by Amazon? Absolutely, Gary. So let's keep going. So you can learn bundling at bundlemasterclass.com. You can learn wholesale sourcing on my website, dealdivawholesale.com. That's DEALDIVA wholesale.com. Ton of free videos, whether you're getting started or you're further along the learning curve in your Amazon business. Go to dealdivawholesale.com. I've got a bunch of articles and videos. I've been posting up on that group, on that page for a couple of years now, so there's a lot of great content on there. And you can join me on Facebook and ask me anything about wholesale, bundling, private label, selling on Amazon, getting started in business. I've been in business since, gosh, 1996. I've been in selling online, and I've been selling on Amazon since 2015, and I'm a full-time seller. I'm 80% wholesale and bundles, and I'm starting with private label. In fact, I'm headed to China in about 5 weeks. So ask me anything in my Facebook group, dealdivawholesale.com/Facebook. Do you guys have any more questions about, and I encourage you to get started. Go find some wholesale catalog that you thought was dead. It's on your hard drive somewhere. I've got a bunch of them as well, right? Go find one of those suckers and run it through a program. And I encourage you to look through those and go through this little process, pretty simple process, right? And start generating bundle ideas. And feel free to share them on dealdivawholesale.com/Facebook. And I'd love to hear what you found. So Linda asked, what ranking do you look for when you bundle products, Linda? I'm not sure how to answer that, but you can ask that in the Facebook group, and we'll, I always look for to get to the lowest ranking, of course, whether that's organically or doing pay-per-click or off Amazon ads. And do I recommend a prep company that's easy to work with? So Suze, I don't just use one prep company, I use several of them depending on where my supplier is. And there are a lot of great prep companies out there, and I encourage you to interview prep companies so that you make the choice based on what's best for you, your business. Linda says, how much do you usually pay per bundle prep? It depends on how many pieces are on the bundle, what sizes the pieces are, how much prep is involved, and who my prep company is. And that's a question you should ask your prep companies when you are interviewing them. So Anselmo says, any bundling tool to help brainstorm bundling ideas you recommend? If you just ask yourself the 3 Qs, right? You don't need a whole lot of tools to brainstorm. You just need an open mind, and you ask yourself, who buys this product? Why do they buy it? Like, what problem is it solving, or what passion is it feeding, right? And what else do they buy? And brainstorming is fun if you get your kids involved too, because kids just don't have that filter, right? A lot of times we get out of school and that creativity bug is sort of bred out of us, or so we think. But I truly believe that all of us are creative beings at birth, and it's still in us, it's still natural, and we just have to unleash it. So have you ever played with your kids where they've got their imagination going, they've got the blocks out, they're building a castle and a playroom, and you don't recognize it as a castle, but their imagination sees it because they see things, they're not ruined by schooling yet, right? They see things that maybe we're a little bit closed off to. So get your kids involved if you want to brainstorm ideas, and ask them these questions. Who would want this product and why? And let them help you brainstorm. It's a great way to get started. Okay, what else do we have in the chat? Do you launch your bundle similar to a private label? Kirsten, I've got a lot of different ways I launch my bundle. I do off Amazon advertising. I'll do Facebook ads, pay-per-click. First, I'll try to get organic rank. But in order to do that, I make sure that I do most of my research up front before I ever touch product. So I make sure I'm doing research about my target market and the potential buyer, my competitive research to see who else on Amazon is selling to that same market, not necessarily the same products, but to that same market. So the more research I do up front before I touch one single product, the more my chances are that I will get organic ranking without having to do any pay-per-click. Okay, let's see, any bundling tool, okay, do you launch your bid? Okay, so it looks like I've got pretty much, let's see, we bundle products with low product, by complaining where we can raise the price as well. Yes, Tammy, absolutely, because think of it from the customer's perspective. When you sell a bundle, you're not selling individual products, you're selling a solution to a problem, right? Or you're selling something that feeds their passion, where they look at it and say, oh my gosh, I have to have this. So when you come at your bundle research from a customer-centric approach, then you've solved half the problem once your listing goes up, because then people will know that they want it right out of the gate. You don't have to convince them because you've done your research before you created the bundle. So Patty asks, is the only way to see the bundle idea is going to sell as a listing, or is it better to estimate the bundle's success? Patty, I'm not really sure what you're asking, but if you go to dealdivawholesale.com/Facebook, join the Facebook group, we can discuss it more in that Facebook group. Okay, so I hope I got a couple more messages. Let me see what I can, I'm finding that presentable packaging is so expensive. Any suggestions? Rubina, there's tons of ways to do creative packaging. even if you just use, you know, a white box with a sticker on it, but you can have the sticker made for you. So the sticker's cheaper. So I would go back to Google and also start brainstorming. How else can I bundle this product? Let's see. Anselmo asked, do you recommend looking at Halloween and Christmas bundling now or focus on your rumba? So that's kind of, I'm glad you asked that because it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I want a sustainable Amazon business. And if I'm selling seasonal bundles, then I'm going from season to season to season, and I don't have sustainable income. So it's really important as an Amazon seller, I believe, to have income that is sustainable throughout the year. So most of my bundles, I'd say 98% of them, are sustainable year-round. We call them evergreen bundles because they sell year-round, just like a tree that grows and it's green year-round. And then I may add bundles for Halloween and Christmas and Easter and Valentine's, but I don't rely on them for my income. That's just an extra, you know, shot of income. But I want, you know, if something happens, like I have to go out of town or I bought a house and I have to renovate it, which just recently happened, and I have to take time away from my business, I need to know that my bundles and my products are selling whether or not I'm working on it. Does that make sense? So you can do seasonal bundles, but I don't think it's a great business model for sustainability. Just add them to your evergreen bundles. So how long have you been doing your oldest bundle? Since 1996. It was the first time I did a bundle, but I didn't know it was called bundling. So what I did was emojis had just come out, and it was basically not what we think of emojis today. So it was on your keyboard, you could hit a colon, a dash, and an open paren, it would be a smile. And there was like a dozen of those, and that's it. You could kiss, smile, hug, right? So I took those, and I think it was Vistaprint. I put them on a mouse pad. I took them and I made a grid of 4x3. I put them on a mouse pad, a mug, and a t-shirt. And I put them all together, and I sold them on eBay. And I had no idea I was bundling at the time. I was just seeing a market opportunity that people liked emojis. And I thought it would be cool to have, you know, emojis on your mouse pad. So right by your computer, you would be able to look at that little cheat sheet, right? And your coffee mug would be right by your computer, so you could look at that cheat sheet. So I suppose I've been bundling since 1996, but on Amazon, I started bundling about 3 months after I started selling on Amazon. I started selling on Amazon 3 years ago. So anyway, how long have you been doing your oldest bundle? Let's see, any other questions here, guys? I don't see any other questions. Oh, Ethel, I was asking for the location for the replay. FYI, I am in Bundle Masterclass. It is great. Thank you, Ethel. I appreciate it. We've got a Bundle Masterclass student in here. Glad you love it. The way the Bundle Masterclass is laid out is in lessons within modules. So the very first module is about understanding customer-centric research. And then each lesson, I have got a little exercise that you do so that you can learn as you grow. And you can get through the Bundle Masterclass. It's self-paced easily within 30 days and have bundles up like very quickly, very quickly. And we do live brainstorming sessions in there, which are a lot of fun because again, we never know where things are going to go when we do a live brainstorming. So awesome. Hey, Joanne's a student too. Awesome. We got some Bundle Masterclass students in here. So thank you. Kirsten says great. Kirstem, I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name, Kirstem. I apologize. Thanks, great content. Okay, guys, go ahead to bundlemasterclass.com if you want to learn about bundling, wholesale.com, tons of free information on there, how to get started with a wholesale business, and they tie in, okay? And then join me on Facebook and ask anything you want about selling on Amazon or starting a business, etc. wholesale.com/Facebook, and I will send out the replay to everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for coming on board tonight. Talk to you later.